Hi everybody, my name is Chastiny and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, grab a chair, tell me your name. If you're a returning member of the family, you're probably like, oh no, not another audiobook. Yes, another audiobook. We're gonna make this through, don't worry. Damn it, I forgot her name. Charlotte. Let's appreciate this melanin. What we're gonna do is we're gonna listen to the book together, and then I'm going to pause it every once in a while and add in my adult 2 cents. And because I think it would be very boring to watch me just sit here and wait for the next part of the book to come up until I come to a part where I can just pause it, I'm going to be doing a paint by numbers. Yay! Now, I've already tried to record this video once and I was out of focus pretty much the whole time, so I'm redoing it again, which is why some of it is already done. I just wanted to let you guys know that I wrote this when I was young. It is a completely inappropriate book, and what I mean by inappropriate, it means that when I was younger I glorified this teacher-student relationship because I saw on the news and on Lifetime movies there was a story about Mary Kay Lozurno, or whatever her last name is, and she was a teacher who slept with her 13-year-old student, and I think she got 10 years in jail. And then once she got out, they got married, and I think they have 2 kids and something I don't know, they got kids together. And so I decided, being the smartest little preteen or teenager I was, that I would write the story, but I would add black people, and I would I would also switch it around, because that's what I do. I switch things around. I really thought I was going to turn this on the head. So with that being said, yeah, this book is not good. In fact, after I read it, cat's being weird. Now he wants to be weird. After reading this story as an adult, I realized that this is not a story about romance between a teacher and a student, which I already knew was kind of wrong because I aged the student up to make it more appropriate. I thought it was the best romantic story ever because I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna make this teacher super hot, and the girl, she's gonna be super pretty and super smart and super badass and all this other great stuff. And as I read it now as a adult in her 30s, as I read it now, I'm like, oh my god, this is such a horror story. To a teen, if you let her tell the story through her eyes, she's falling in love with the man that she loves. But if you look at it from the outside in, you're really watching a grown man. Thanks, Petey. You're really watching a grown man groom and gaslight this child. Also, I try to be super inclusive, so there's a super out there gay guy named Junior, and he's supposed to be the just jack of the school, but his name is Junior, and I was like, yeah, I'm so happy for him. And I'm like, I don't know anymore, it might be homophobic to have this in the story. I don't know. So there's that going on. Very flamboyant young man, just very flamboyant. I thought I was being progressive. Really, I was just being a dumb teen that thought she could write. I want to make some things absolutely clear. One, I do not condone any of this. I do not think it's okay for teachers and students to be messing around. It's power structure, age, everything. It's not appropriate. It's not right. And though I did glorify it in this story, I will be pointing out why it is not why it should not be glorified right now. And 2, this did not happen to me. It does not happen to anyone I know. I don't need like people that I know from my small town being nosy coming over here. Thank you for supporting, even though you were acting like you don't know what's going on. I know you're here supporting because you're nosy. Thank you. But like, I know people are gonna come here and then they're going to be like, oh, I wonder what teacher she's talking about. I'm not talking about teacher. Also, I have already uploaded the audiobook, like in full, without me commenting on it really. I mean, I giggle a couple of times through it, but that's because it's so cringy and funny at the same time for me. But I've already made the audiobook, so if you don't want to wait for the 7 videos to come out, you just want to know what happens in the story right now, there's a 2-hour long audiobook up for you and your pleasure. I hope you enjoy this journey we're about to take together into the mind of teenage me, and let's just get this party started. Yay. Welcome to the recording of Student Life by Teenage Me. Read to you by Chastiny G. Also me. Yeah, that rhymes. Student Life. Warning. This book contains strong language. You have been warned. You have been warned. Chapter 1. Her skin was the color of toasted almonds, as CoverGirl would have called it. Her black hair was naturally shoulder in length. However, today it was long and straight, with a hint of gold in it to match the flicks in her big brown eyes. She was short for her age, 17 and only 5'1". She blames it on her mom, who was also short. But at last, she was okay with her height because her body made up for it. She had curves in all the right places and beautiful, soft, brownish pink lips. Her name was Dolores Knight, and this is her story. Dun dun! Clearly, I was watching or going on a binge of Law and Order at that time, because come on now, this is her story. Dun dun! And obviously, very obviously, I am describing myself in this book, because like, you know, I'm short, I got curves like, whoa, y'all don't really get to see them that much, but like when I was younger, I had curves like, ha! Let me stop reliving my stuff before I get paint all over this. Alright, continue. Dolores' eyes watered as she laughed at the movie. So, this is a good one, whispered Jessica, a tall girl with blonde hair, blue eyes, and a bright smile. Yeah, Dolores whispered back as the laughter died down. A man ahead of Dolores sighed loudly, as if he was annoyed. Dolores ignored this, even though he had already irritated her by hitting her feet with the back of his chair. The man leaned over to the woman next to him. I wish someone would stop kicking the back of my chair, he said loudly. The woman laughed nastily. Yeah, this little bitch has been kicking mine too. Dolores looked at Jessica, holding completely still. Jessica could tell that Dolores was about to say or do something. "Doe, please don't," she whispered. Dolores crossed her arms and decided to focus on the movie. After about 5 minutes, the man turned around sharply. "Stop kicking my chair, you little fucker," he said loudly. "If you would sit your fat ass up, your chair would stop hitting my foot," Dolores snapped back. Okay, so this part right here is a very true story because this actually happened to me. I was watching Norbit. It was in theaters. And like this guy was just kind of leaning back in his chair, and every time I moved my foot, it would like rub against the back of his chair, but he was leaning so far back. I was like, bro, there's no room for him. And I have short legs, so it's not like I was trying to reach out and like kick his chair or anything. I have short legs. Normally leg space isn't a problem with me, but for this theater, like there was like no leg space for me. So like every time I would move my foot or shake or cross my leg, he would just kind of like So yeah, this ended up happening where he was like, y'all better stop kicking my chair. And I was like, if you would sit your maybe we wouldn't have to kick your chair. I said, you too big to be laying back like this. Blah 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 blah. And then the woman was like, well, I'm mad, and you do it again and see what happens. And then she got up after like 5 minutes and she was like, I hope you enjoyed the effing movie. And I was like, we will now that you're leaving. Yeah, this all happened in the Norbit movie. Ratchet ass. The woman turned around then. You've been kicking his chair all night, and this little bitch has been kicking mine. Jessica, who hated conflict, started breathing hard. Dolores took a deep breath. Look here. You guys are leaning so far back that your chairs are hitting our feet. And whenever we move, you feel it. And I'm not going to sit here and be completely still like stone so you can lean your asses back, she said calmly as she could. The woman sucked her teeth. Kick my chair. One more again, she warned. One more again. What the fuck ever, Dolores said loudly. Not even 2 minutes later, the woman stood up. I can't take it anymore. I hope you enjoy the fucking movie, she said. Dolores looked at her. I will now that you're leaving. By now, Jessica's inhaler was in her hand. The woman took a large cup of soda and poured it all over Dolores. This part didn't happen. That's coming up. This ain't happening because I ain't that tough. She was ready for this. Dolores took her cup and tossed it on the woman. Hey, watch it. I got a very expensive camera over here, one boy said as Dolores and Jessica stood up. The woman took a swing at Dolores and hit her. That was all she needed. Dolores lunged over the seat and started punching the woman everywhere she could reach. Damn, this is better than the movie. This is going to be a YouTube hit, said. Nowadays, if I were to rewrite this, I would be like, World Star! Ooh, and everybody be taking out their phones and being like, I want to get in on it. Oh, this going to make me some get my views up. That's what would happen nowadays, but that was not then. The boy turning the bright light on his camera and started recording. By now, everyone was trying to see the fighting. Some were even standing on their chairs to get a better look. The man pulled Dolores off the woman and held her. I got her, Amy. Take a hit, he said, laughing. The woman, Amy, had a load of blood coming from her nose. She punched Dolores in the stomach and then backhanded her across the face. My pimp hand is still strong, Jake, Amy said. She went for another hit when Jessica grabbed Amy's hair and pulled her to the floor. Dolores took this time to kick Jake's shin, then elbow him in the ribs. He doubled over. Jess, switch with me, Dolores yelled as she punched Jake with her right hand. He fell to the floor, holding his face. Jessica stepped on his balls and twisted her foot like she was putting out a cigarette butt. Dolores turned to the woman. Lay back down, she said, kicking Amy in the face. The house lights came on. Dolores took Amy's arm and twisted it behind her back. Say you're sorry, Dolores yelled at her. I'm sorry, Amy screamed in pain. Dolores twisted a little more. Mean it. I am so sorry, Amy cried. Dolores slammed her head down. I know you are, Dolores said, getting up. Jake was laying on the floor, passed out from the pain Jessica had inflicted on him. Come on, Jessica, she said. Behind you, Jessica cried. Dolores turned around and Amy landed a punch on her jaw. The punch was so hard that Dolores spit out blood. Come on, Amy challenged. Dolores swung 2 times with mad speed. The guys had always said she had some dangerous hands. Amy got a black eye and a cracked jaw. She was on the floor screaming with pain. Dolores grabbed Amy by the hair. Hit me one more again, she said. One more again. Then she tossed her aside like a rag doll. Girl, your hand is swollen and covered in blood. Jessica grabbed a cup and drained the soda from it, leaving the ice in it. Put your hand in this, she instructed. Dolores put her hand on the ice. Move! Out of my way! Move! Said a voice Dolores knew. all too well? Officer Brickhouse. Not him, Dolores groaned. And the officers saw two adults on the floor and two 17-year-olds in the middle of it all. We need the paramedics in here, one of them yelled. It doesn't surprise me that you're in the middle of all of this, Officer Brickhouse said. Ah, doggy. Oh, doggy, nope. I still don't know what I was trying to write in this line. Oh, doggy, hell no, or something like that. I don't know. It sounds so loud, but I know it's going to be so low. Oh, crap. Oh, hello. If it makes you feel better, I didn't start it this time. Just ask the cameraman over there. I'm sure he taped it, Dolores said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Dolores and Jessica, you know the drill, Officer Brickhouse said. They turned around and put their hands behind their backs. Cuff them, Officer Brickhouse said in a commanding voice. Dolores rolled her eyes at Jess, who smiled. You have the right to remain silent, one of the officers said. Yeah, ouch! What are you, a rookie? Dolores asked as she was being led out. Chapter 2. Dolores, Jessica, Jake, and Amy were sitting in the courtroom. Their judge just so happened to be the one judge Dolores hated the most, Judge Kimberly Smith. Jake and Amy were suing Dolores and Jessica for $50,000 each. Jessica was taking her third puff on her inhaler as they watched the tape. The fight seemed to last a little longer than Dolores remembered. Well, this tape was quite disturbing, Judge Smith said. I hate to tell you this, Jake and Amy, but you brought this on yourself, Dolores stood up. The judge was taking her side for the first time in 3 years. How could you start a fight with kids? You used foul language,
right?
Agitated them, and
right?
then turned it physical.
And then turned it physical.
Dolores controlled her temper for as long as she did. That anger management class I assigned you to last year must really work, Judge Smith said, nodding to Dolores. This truly shocked me. The $100,000 you wanted? Forget it. Amy and Jake, I ordered you to pay court costs and to give each of these girls a formal apology, Judge Smith said. Dolores and Jessica were sitting up and smiling hard. Remove those smiles off your face, girls. You will each get 3 months house arrest, Judge Smith said. Dolores' lawyer jumped up. Judge Smith, your judgment is honorable and completely fair. However, rather impossible for Dolores to complete. You see, Dolores is moving clear across the United States due to her father, Timothy Knight's job. It's been planned for months. She's leaving in 2 weeks. Judge Smith thought for a moment. All right. Jessica's punishment remains the same. Dolores, however, will be placed in a juvenile detention center for a week and a half. Chapter 3. Dolores opened her eyes when her dad started bouncing with joy. Wake up, baby girl. We're home. Home? No. Home was in LA, in the city, Dolores thought. Not here, in the middle of nowhere. Not in Seneca, North Carolina. Dolores saw a dull 3-story house. It was white with green shutters, just like the other 3 houses around them. This house is so beautiful, her father said, getting out of the car. Come on, Doe, wake up. Dolores rolled her eyes and got out. Her dad ran to the house like a hyper child fresh off his medication. She tried not to look impressed as her father dragged her around the house. The week Dolores was in juvenile detention center, her dad came to the house and set up all the big stuff like the beds and the dressers. Now all they had to do was put the little stuff in their new respective places. Dolores had nearly put up all her clothes in her room when her dad called to her. Doe, Dolores, honey. She stuck her head out the door. Yeah? He walked up the stairs. Honey, I know we just moved here, but I have to go to a meeting. Are you going to be okay here, all by yourself? He asked. He looked around. Dad, you once left me with an old lady in 3C for a week. I think I can handle a few hours. So, I don't know. Like, okay, so Dolores and her father are from LA and they moved to the middle of nowhere. I thought that her living in 3C sounded like an LA thing. Clearly, I was more likely thinking New York, but I wanted her to move from one major city to a little nothing town. So that's where it's coming from. I don't know if people will be like, 3C, that doesn't sound like a thing from California. I don't think it sounds like a thing from California. Do we even have stuff like that? I mean, I live in San Diego, but I don't know. I digress.
She laughed. He kissed her on the cheek. That's my girl. Call me if you need anything. I'll pick up some food from the food line on the way back.
Product placement, Food Line. I used to shop at one of those. They're nowhere out here. We got Kroger out here.
He said. Dolores watched as her father drove off before starting to set up the living room. The first thing she did was test out the fireplace. The couches were already perfectly arranged. She rolled a soft white rug in front of the fireplace and put the family photo on the mantle. In the photo was her mother, who was pregnant, her, and Dolores. No, her father and Dolores. Knock, knock, said a woman walking into the house. Dolores, who was putting up another picture, was so startled by that she fell off her chair. Oh, dear, are you all right? She asked, running to help her up, while an old white man stood at the door holding a cake.
Clearly, nowadays we would never, ever leave a door unlocked. And no one else would just randomly walk in. This was when I was younger, so I was like, even though I've never done that, I knew it was like a Mayberry thing. And like, when you listen to this story and you know some things like leaving the door unlocked is not something, or bringing food to a new neighbor is not something that happens anymore, you have to remember that I was imagining a very rose-colored glasses kind of view. So like, really, there's no racism, no sexism. Well, there's a little sexism, but like no racism, a little sexism, and like all around trust. The innocence of my mind was so adorable, and yet not adorable. I don't know.
Yes, I'm fine, Dolores said, rubbing her leg. Well, I'm Monica Davis, and this is my husband, Chuck. We live in the house across the street. Monica looked to be in her mid-40s, early 50s. She dyed her hair brown and had even white teeth, more likely false teeth. She seemed like the type of person who would drag her husband for an early morning walk so they could remain healthy together. Chuck was going bald and looked a little grumpy, but like is hiding some kind heart somewhere.
What?
I'm Dolores Knight, she said, shaking their hands. We saw your husband last week moving things in, but we never got a chance to say welcome. Where is he now? Monica asked. He's at a meeting, and I'm not his wife, Dolores said with a smile. Monica raised an eyebrow. Oh, really? She said. Monica? Chuck mourned. He's my dad, Dolores explained, pointing to the family photo. Monica laughed. Of course. So where is your mother? Monica asked. She died giving birth to my sister Alex. Then Alex died a week after, Dolores said.
Alright, so now we're hitting backstory. What makes Doe ticks? What makes her the bad child? Because if you don't know right now, like, she's been in trouble for years, and it's because her mom died giving birth to her little sister Alex. So yeah, that's the backstory. And trust me, I will repeat this like 2 or 3 more times. A person who complains mostly about different books repeating the same information did this when I was younger. So, hypocrite? No, I just learned.
Oh, honey, I am so sorry, Monica said, rubbing her arm. No, it's It's okay. It was like 5 years ago, Dolores said with a little smile. Well, here's a cake I baked for y'all. Welcome to Seneca, home of the Mighty Wildcats.
Wildcats!
Taking the cake from Chuck. If y'all need anything, we're right across the street. Come on, Chuck. It's time for our tea. Monica said in a sing-song voice. My wife is a basket case. You'll have to forgive her, he said. Dolores gave him a wink. Chuck, Monica said a little more sharply. Coming, dear, he called, and they were gone. After an hour or two, Dolores was almost done with the living room. All she had now to do was set up the new entertainment center for the TV. Just when she was about to cut a piece of cake, someone knocked on her front door. Dolores had locked it when 2 other neighbors walked in, bringing them a welcome gift of red wine. She looked through the people. There was this white man with brown hair and a great jawline at her door. She took a better look at him through the side window. He was wearing a fitted green shirt and a pair of slightly black baggy blue jeans. This man was cute and had a great looking butt. She smoothed her hair down and
was so weird
before opening the door. His eyes were the first thing she saw. They were dark green with a rim of light green around them. His teeth were white and even with soft pink lips around them. Hello, said the man looking at her. Dolores took a split second to snap out of her daze. Hi, come in, she said, stepping aside. Hi,
I just realized something. I would have never said come into some random guy. I'm like, oh hi, thank you. Like I have a new neighbor. He just moved in. I said hi to him a couple of times. He's asked to borrow a can opener, and did I let him come in so that I can get the can opener while he waits at the door? No, I kept that closed, and then I opened it when I gave him the can opener to use. That and because of the coronavirus. But I don't know him, so he cannot step foot in this house. This is my sanctuary. So,
James, he said, handing her a casserole dish. Thank you. I'm Doe. Dolores Knight. That was my nickname, she said, setting down the dish and shaking his hand. He laughed. So, James, do you have a last name, she asked. Pygmy. James Pygmy.
Pygmy.
They looked at each other for a moment. I brought you this chicken. It's chicken. I figured that you and your husband would be hungry, he said, putting his hands in his pocket. Dolores smiled and took the dish to the kitchen to cut it. James followed her. Do you want some? Dolores asked. Yeah, sure, he said. He's my father, Dolores said, handing him a paper plate and a fork. They sat in the living room. Your father? Oh, I'm sorry, I just assumed you were married. It's really stupid of me, he said, sitting next to her. No, it's okay. Everyone assumes that he was my husband. But they were all married. You, on the other hand, you don't have a ring and you didn't come over with a lover, so I'm assuming you were trying to figure out if I was single.
Okay, so this is just cringy. Like, I guess Dolores is trying to show like she's smart or something like that, very pays attention. But what kid would be like, oh, so do you have last name, or like, are you trying to hit on me? Cause you cute now. Like, no, that's not. I don't think it would happen like that anymore. No, I would be nowadays. If I wrote this again, I would be way more subtle.
If you wanted to know that, all you had to do was ask. Yeah, she had said, smiling. Dolores took a bite. Smart and upfront. Dangerous combination, James said. He looked at the pile of wood on the floor. What's that? It's the entertainment system. She put her plate down. Do you need help putting this up? He asked. Dolores took his empty plate. If you don't mind, she said, smiling. They worked on this in...
Do you notice how fast they ate? Like, what did she give him? Like one bite of food? Because it was like bite Well, if you wanted to find out if I was single, then you should have just asked. Bite, yeah, do you mind helping me put up your thing? Give me your food. Thank you. I'm just saying. It's timing.
For a good hour, and now they were pulling out the DVDs to put on them. Titanic? I haven't seen this in forever, he said. Oh, it's my all-time favorite, Dolores said. So, Joe, what do you do? James asked. I'm a student. And you? She asked, taking a sip of her soda. I teach 12th grade honors English, he said. Dolores started to choke. Are you okay? James asked, patting her on the back. His hands were warm and firm. English teacher? She coughed. Yeah. Thank you, James. I mean, Mr. Pygmy, Dolores said, taking a deep breath. Please, call me James, he said, still rubbing her back. Dolores took a step away from him. I think your surname would be most appropriate because I'm going into 12th grade honors English this year, she said. You're still in high school, he asked. Dolores nodded. This has been weird, she said with a small smile. Well, it was very nice to meet you, Dolores, James said, getting up. She walked him to the front door. Yes, see you in class, Dolores said with a half smile. She closed the door. Way to go, Dow. You just flirted with your English teacher. Nice.
Alright, so we did chapters 1 through 3, where we met Dolores and James. James is the teacher, in case you haven't noticed. We found out that Dolores is a bad girl. Bad girl. Who's been in trouble with the law, like, many times. And, like, she even knows the name of, like, the cops and the judges and blah, blah, blah. She's been sent to anger management. So, you know, she's a bad girl. We established that. We established her tragic backstory of her mom dying in childbirth. No offense, Mom. This is not about you. Her dad is a mall carpenter guy. He's building a mall and he's in charge of it. And really, you know, he's just trying to keep her away from the crazy. So, but he also works very hard, as you will soon find out. That's about it. Like, I think the first, I'd say the first 6 chapters are a little okay. Like, things don't really start popping off until about chapter 6. The first 5 chapters are okay, but things start popping off after you introduce everybody, because we still got the students and her core friends to introduce, which you will hear next time in the video. So far, I finished the grass, which is starting to look really nice. I like it. You see that? So I finished the grass, and if you haven't noticed, I'm using my table. It's a glass table, so I'm using my table as a paint mixer thing. And I'm just like, you know, I'm starting in on where the numbers have a line pointing in, so that way I can cover it after a while, cover the numbers. But you know, I got to get the little pieces first. So that's where I'm starting. This is where I'm ending at. Please tell me, what do you think of the book so far? Do you have any predictions? If you have already listened to the audiobook that's already out, the sister video to this series, if you've already listened to it, do not tell people what's happening. There are some people who enjoy the ride, okay? And they want to listen to this week by week. Or video by video. So, you know, don't spoil it for anybody. But if you have any predictions that you want to throw out there, just let's make some predictions. What kind of gaslighting do you think 13-year-old me thought was romantic? What kind of grooming techniques do you think are going to be used in this story? And what other problematic things do you think are going to pop up in a story where the teacher-student relationship has been romanticized? Because I'm going to tell you right now, there is no bad ending here. It's not a bad ending. It's a happy ending, which is really disturbing. But we will make it there when we do. Until then, I hope you guys really enjoyed this book. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope you guys will join me next time for another episode of Student Life by Teenage Me, a cringe-worthy romance that we're gonna dissect and decide how it is not appropriate nowadays. And I just hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next time.